Hey plant lovers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, and today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Hoyas. So Hoyas are my favorite house plant. I do have a lot of Hoyas in my collection. When I first got a Hoya, I definitely didn't know how to take care of it. I wasn't really sure when to water it, when to repot it, what to do after. And honestly, my first Hoya, we kind of been through a lot together. Definitely put it through a lot when I first got it, and now I know how to take care of it. So this is my first Hoya. So this one right here is just a regular Hoya carnosa. So the Hoya carnosa, you can kind of see he's doing really well. All of these new growth points that are here, here, and here all came out when I was taking care of it. So it's been a long time coming, and I definitely neglected this guy for a little bit, but I wanted to show you on him because he definitely needs to be watered, what a Hoya that needs watering looks like. So as you can see on here, you can see his veins pretty easily, and when I go and touch him, he easily bends almost in half. He's like very flexible. That's a sign that this guy definitely needs a good water. If you have a Hoya and this is your first Hoya, the first thing that you need to do when you get it home is to figure out, does it need a drink or not? Usually, I only water my Hoya once a month. And this is seems regular for anybody else who owns a Hoya. You don't have to water them very often, which I find is perfect for my lifestyle because honestly, I work way too much and I don't have enough time to go through and see if everybody needs to be watered, once a day or even twice a week. So that's why I did a lot of research and I chose Hoya off the bat. So Hoya carnosa is very easy to take care of. This one I put on my shelf right here, and it gets the light from my window that's over here. And I open my window all day and he gets light, and that's the perfect amount of light for him. He did fine during the winter. I will say the thing that I really noticed during the winter is that Hoyas really need that humidity. So I live in Florida, so the humidity here is going to be very high. And when it was winter, we would get only a low of about like 20 degrees, which is pretty nice. But for plants, obviously, that's going to be pretty cold. So when I had my heater on, it definitely left my apartment without humidity. So I would say get a humidifier. I mean, I have one of those like essential oil misters, and I just put water in it, and maybe like once or twice a day, I'll just put the water in and have it spray on all of my plants over there, and it does fine. So you can see this guy, this Hoya Shepherdii. So same thing, you just feel his leaves. So the mixture that Hoyas have in there is gonna be a very barky mixture. So what I mean by that is you can kind of see, I can go in here and pull out, there's like chips in here. So the chips that are in here, usually Hoyas have a good mixture of like orchid bark. There is some soil, but it's so that it can be quick draining. So if you have a Hoya and you get it home from the nursery and you see the soil is very barky and you want to replant him right away because you want to put him in a really cute pot, or you say, oh my gosh, look at how much is in this one pot, he obviously needs a bigger one. So I would say hold off on that. Hoyas actually don't need to be repotted very often, which again, very low maintenance. Why did I just do that? Very low maintenance. You really don't need to do a lot with him. when you get him home from the nursery, you don't have to repot him. The best thing to do would be to put him in a catch pot. So to just put him in something else, and then that way when you go to water him, you just take him out, water him, and then put him back in so that he looks cute. But I've had this guy for a whole year and I haven't had to like repot him at all. Another thing about Hoya, because they're in the bark mixture, so you can see here, this is my Hoya Crimson Queen. So you can see on the Crimson Queen here how long the tendrils really go, and they're going to get long and they're going to reach out. But again, I don't really change anything on the soil. I do put, so this guy I've had for a while, over a year. This guy, because I've had him for over a year, usually fertilizers in your soil for your plants last about 6 months from the nursery. So what I do is I just put a little fertilizer in here in the growing season. So right now I put just a little bit of water fertilizer mix, and I have it in a jug, and I'll just put it inside of here just a little bit. And that way it gets its nutrients without me having to sacrifice repotting it into a different pot, disturbing its roots. You know, that's the one thing that I don't want to do with the Hoya, is disturb its roots, because again, they're very fragile, they're very small, and also, you know, I don't want to stunt his growth at all. There is a point where I will repot him, and at that point then I will, you know, definitely put him in a bigger pot. But for right now, he's doing really well, and I don't really see a reason to do that. And I can kind of show you some of his leaves right there. They're pretty cool. So with Hoya, the one thing I will tell you that will kill your Hoya is overwatering. I've noticed that overwatering can occur with top watering. So what I mean by that, so this guy, like I said, was my first one, and he didn't have very many of these little tendrils here. So I watered him from above, and like any of the other plants that I have, I let it soak down through the bottom and into, you know, the pot that I was using to let it drain into. And I let him sit there for a little bit, and I was like, okay, he's fine. He wasn't fine. So I ended up actually drowning him a little bit and putting a little bit too much water in there. And it looked as if he was going to die. He was very droopy. I thought, oh no, I didn't water him. Let me water him again. And yeah, at that point I knew that there was something terribly wrong. And I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos. I read a lot of articles because I wanted to know how to help my Hoya, because I really liked how it looked, but now it was kind of that determination of, I don't want to kill the first plant that I ever bought, and to bring him back to life. So the thing that I did was I took him out of here and I got rid of his soil. I put a new mixture in here, and I let his roots dry a little bit, and I put him back. He's been doing really good since then, which I'm really grateful for. But you know, definitely top watering has been the thing that has almost killed Hoyas. Especially, I mean, my Hoyas, in my opinion, whenever I top water, it never really goes well. They end up drinking too much. What I would suggest is to bottom water. So when you're bottom watering, you know, your Hoya is going to get what they want, and not all that excess water that is going to go through their roots and go out the bottom and then sit there in the pot. You know, they're not the type of plant for that. So this is my Hoya Crimson Princess. For this guy, I definitely will give him a good water today, but again, you're just gonna put, I usually have like a terracotta bottom that I put underneath them, and then I'll just fill it with water. I'll let it sit for about an hour or two, and then after that I'll go and check up. If in the hour or two it's still sitting in water, then I'll wait, because only filling it one time is totally fine. If you fill it twice, you're pushing it a little, you're pushing it. If it's firm and no longer squishy, then I definitely will take it out of the water and I'll leave it alone. So you can tell when it's ready to be taken out of that water, when it has had enough. And then that way you're not going to overwater. So I just want to boast really quickly about my new Hoya. And I know I shouldn't have, but I really wanted to. So this is the newest Hoya that I got, and I got it in the mail because I can't seem to find any of these around where I live, and honestly, it's a pain in the butt to find Hoya here. You don't get like more of the trendy Hoya. I haven't seen a lot of rare Hoya that is here in Florida, at least in the part of Florida where I live. But I did order this on Peace, Love, and Happiness. This is a Hoya Hindu rope, and it's a variegated Hindu rope. So as you can see, I have a regular Hindu rope. Wow. And then the variegated one. Wow. But no, seriously, like, I am in love with Hindu rope. I think something about it looking like octopus, like tentacles. I think it looks so cool. It looks so different. Like, I'm waiting for this guy to have his tendrils like droop down on all sides so that I can actually hang him in a hanging pot and then have him hanging in my window. Like, that's a dream come true. Give your Hoya a good spot near the sun. They do love sunlight, so if you put them way too far away from the window, they're not going to grow. And you're going to see that the tendrils aren't going to pop up, that the variegation is not going to happen. So you're not going to get them sun stressed. So sun stressing, this is sun stressing. You can kind of see that leaf right there. And then these leaves right here. So see how pink that is. So that's not the usual variegation for this guy. I've had this guy so close to the window that now all of his little leaves are bright pink. Just make sure that you're paying attention to your Hoya. And if you haven't had a Hoya yet and you're thinking and doing your research, and this is one of the videos that you come across of doing your research to own a Hoya, I would very much suggest to get a Hoya. And for all my friends watching, if you are watching, I would suggest for you to get a Hoya. They're very inexpensive. So the Carnosa, $5. The tricolor, $12. So, you know, they're very inexpensive and they're very cool. They're very cool plants, very low maintenance. And if they flower for you, you're going to get a really big payoff and you're really going to like it. And that's, you know, what I'm looking forward to the most on all these guys. So that concludes how to take care of a Hoya. So if you have any questions at all, comment down below. Definitely leave a like, definitely subscribe. If you want to hear more about how to take care of the different plants that I have, or any plant that you might have, just let me know. Leave me a suggestion. I'll be happy to do a video about it if you like these types of how-to videos. And follow me on Peruvian Plant Queen with a W on Instagram, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. All right, bye.